Okay, rolling.
It's 101.3 The Big DM and Shamara and friends again. We're coming to you live from man oh man, the White House from D.C. I'm still in disbelief, to be honest with you. Again, we got to thank our dear friend Mayor Steve Benjamin, who is now the director of public engagement right here in Washington D.C. And can I tell you how I'm like such a fan of the person that I'm sitting next to right now? And I know this is a TV, but we have Secretary Pete Buttigieg right here. High five, my man. Oh my goodness! Secretary of Transportation, dude. What is it that you do? Tell us what you do. I think I don't know you.
It's trains, planes, and automobiles, and a bunch of other stuff people don't know about. We work on ports, we work on commercial space travel, we run a merchant marine academy to help prepare people for careers in the merchant. We got a lot of exciting stuff going on. And, of course, the big part of our job right now is to make sure that we're building the infrastructure of the future. We pushed hard. President Biden, Vice President Harris pushed so hard to get that infrastructure built through. And now we're taking those dollars and we're getting them out to communities, making sure across South Carolina, across the country, we get the airport improvements and the better roads and fixed up bridges and the better transit, all of the things that we fought so hard to be able to do. Now we're delivering it.
You know what? Thank you for delivering it. I don't know how long it's going to take for the package to be actually delivered to us. I mean, it's delivering. I see so many roads.
Work in progress.
Yes, it's a work in progress.
But this summer, I'll tell you, you're going to see more and more of those construction vests and cones and people digging and dirt flying, and we're really getting underway.
But that means you guys have passed the messaging part of it, and it's all in action is what I was, piggybacking off of. It's all about investing in America. So
That's right.
I'm glad that we're bettering those roads out there because, listen, I might be a fan, but I was about to send you my tire bill.
Give me flashbacks to my days as a mayor. Look, every Mayor Benjamin I know is the same way. Every mayor hates potholes with a passion. And we had to fill tens of thousands of potholes when I was mayor. And, you'd see in Washington, people would come and go. There'd be these infrastructure weeks, but nothing would change. And it started to feel like the only plan coming out of Washington was for us back home to pay for everything. That's what's changed with this bipartisan infrastructure law. We're working with the communities, saying, okay, what are your needs? What can we do to help? And bringing the actual dollars to help get it done.
And that's why, again, it's Communities and Action Day right here. And let's just say South Carolina Communities Day of Action, my bad, right here again at the White House. So can I ask a question? You said you're working with the communities to get these transportation needs met for infrastructure reasons, right? That means the money is coming directly from federal, correct?
That's right. Historically, most of the funding out of the Department of Transportation has gone out through the states by formula. And there's still a lot of that. But now we also have more and more programs that make it possible for communities to come directly to us when they have needs. Sometimes that's a local transit agency who wants to be able to upgrade its buses, let's say. We're doing work on that in Rock Hill, Clemson. Sometimes it's an airport. Columbia Airport is doing work that's going to help with the security checkpoint there. Sometimes it's a small community trying to make its streets safer. We've got a big problem in this country with safety, especially for pedestrians.
Yeah.
Rural communities are harder hit. Black pedestrians are more likely to lose their lives in car crashes. We've got to do something about that, and we have funds that don't have to work through all of the bureaucratic machinery of going from federal to state to county to local. Communities can come to us and we can help them directly. And
that's how this bill is helping us as American citizens out there who want better infrastructure in terms of transportation. Am I right, Secretary Pete?
That's the whole idea, that we make sure that we're responding to the needs that community members are bringing forward. It's still a process. It's not always overnight. But before, so many things that needed to be fixed couldn't be because the funding wasn't there. What we were able to do under President Biden's leadership is get through Congress a package that's actually funding more highway and road funding than we've done since Eisenhower.
Yeah.
More transit funding than we've ever done. We're doing a lot of work, including in South Carolina, on bus rapid transit, things to give people more options. Not everybody has a car.
No.
And so many people...
And there's no corner store everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, true.
And sometimes your job depends on an unreliable cousin with an unreliable car. And you need a better way to be able to count on getting to work. And
especially all of those bodies that we are putting back to work. I'm saying we as if I'm in here making decisions today. But you're absolutely right. You have to depend on your cousin with a broke down car.
Right.
But if you guys are working on that, the infrastructure of transportation, then, you know, we can get more transit out there for folks who don't have access or keys to put in a car, you know?
Exactly, and you should be able to have that choice, to have reliable access, to know that the bus isn't just going to be once an hour, and when it does come, it's going to be on time, right? We've got to create those kinds of options for people. And we're fighting to make electric vehicles more affordable. So for people who are going to have a car, give you that option of having a car you can charge right at your house. If you have a
You
garage.
know what, and I wish it wasn't more affordable. Let me tell you what I got. This little boy said to me one day, he said, well, I said, I can't find my key. He said, just push the button. I said, excuse me? I said, this ain't no, I said, actually, I have a real car. You know, I'm pulling the key out. He's like, he looked at me like, and I was like, appalled, like, are you picking with me? Because I got to put a key in the ignition. So this is great. Affordable electric cars.
Yeah, we got legislation through that's taking thousands of dollars off the price of an electric car, including used vehicles. So it's not just about getting the shiny new car, but again, you should be able to get to where you need to be whether you got a car or not. We also got to make it safer for people who are walking or riding a bicycle, using a wheelchair, to get to where they need to be. Communities have great ideas. We're not thinking up all the individual plans or streetscape designs here in Washington. The solutions come from the communities, but the funding needs to come from Washington, and that's what we're doing. So, I mean, you and I are sitting right now in this diplomatic reception room. It's very elegant, beautifully furnished.
Secretary
room here at
Pete,
the White
this
House.
is an old room, but it is very beautifully furnished.
Whenever I'm in the halls of these buildings or these fancy settings, we always remember the whole point of all of this, the whole reason we have these institutions and bodies like the White House and the Congress, is to try to make it a little easier on the ground to get stuff done.
Building better together.
There you go.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, you have a very calming voice because I'm a hyperactive person, so you really just control the whole process. So, high five, Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Wait, Buttigieg. I was practicing your name 1,000 times today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Oh my goodness, thank you.